Every morning, your attention is contested by forces seen and unseen. Your mind is a battlefield, and every thought is a soldier, every fear a traitor waiting to betray your command. Distraction lurks at the edges of your focus, indecision clouds your judgment, and external influence whispers agendas that are not your own. Recognize the battlefield before you move. Ordinary routines are traps, laid by circumstance, waiting for the unwary to stumble. Awareness is your first weapon. Survey the terrain of your day. Identify where chaos gathers, and position your attention as the general commands his forces. Treat each interruption as a potential enemy, each idle moment as a breach in your defenses. Stand alert and deliberate. Vigilance is armor. The cost of yielding the throne of your mind is steep. When mental chaos dictates your actions, opportunities are lost to hesitation, decisions falter under pressure, and respect from others diminishes. Relationships strain when you react impulsively, and influence erodes when control slips. The throne is not simply comfort, it is authority over your own choices, and failing to defend it invites compromise. High-stakes reframing transforms ordinary moments into strategic maneuvers. Every thought you discipline strengthens the fortress of your mind. Begin with deliberate attention to what occupies your consciousness, casting aside the trivial and transient. Reject impulses that weaken your focus. Cultivate ideas that reinforce resilience. This is not an abstract exercise. It is practice in sovereignty. Command your internal counsel decisively. Prioritize tasks with the precision of a general arranging troops, allowing only that which advances your purpose to hold ground. Neutralize mental clutter swiftly, without hesitation or self-judgment. Engage each moment as a calculated strike, not a passive drift. When disagreement arises, remain composed, acknowledge the perspective without surrendering your principle, and redirect the conversation with calm authority, reinforcing that control stems from measured thought, not reactive emotion. Weak. I hope I can manage this. Strong. I command my focus and choose my response. Weak. I might get distracted. Strong. I control my attention. No intrusion diverts me. Weak. I'll see what happens. Strong. I move deliberately. Every action has purpose. Let each morning, each task, each interaction be a rehearsal for mastery. Build momentum in your mind as a blacksmith tempers steel. Force tempered with patience, precision tempered with vigilance. Every choice, no matter how small, is a soldier in your army of self-discipline. Train them well. When you falter, return immediately to observation. Recalibrate as a commander reassesses a battlefield after an unexpected skirmish. Do not dwell on loss. Learn and adjust without self-reproach. Command is not maintained through fear or aggression, but through consistent presence and decisive action. This is your foundation, your fortress, your throne. Rehearse it daily, defend it relentlessly, and let the world recognize the quiet power you carry. Stand firm, focus sharply, endure persistently. Claim your sovereignty. I am the throne, the blade, the sword. Your mind is the throne from which every decision, every action, and every perception must originate. True power is seated within, not dictated by chaos outside your walls. Awareness is your crown. Observe the patterns of thought that surge before action, the impulses that tempt deviation, and the subtle cues that precede distraction. Historical leaders who achieved lasting influence, from Roman generals to Renaissance statesmen, demonstrated mastery over themselves before commanding others. Their vigilance was the bedrock of strategy, their self-control the invisible army that secured every victory. Each thought must pass through the crown of awareness before taking its place in your counsel. Guard the gates of your mental fortress with the precision of a seasoned warden. External intrusions, news cycles, social pressures, unsolicited opinions seek to seize attention and fracture clarity. Limit access with deliberate rituals, prioritize tasks with exacting standards, schedule reflection periods, and ban the ephemeral from consuming critical space. Treat your attention as a scarce resource. Allocate it only to endeavors that advance your mission. The court of thoughts is where sovereignty is enacted. Allow only productive counsel to influence your decisions. Toxic or ungrounded thoughts are traitors attempting to usurp authority. Cognitive behavioral principles demonstrate that reframing, challenging assumptions, and redirecting attention transform passive drift into active command. Practice discarding mental debris as a ruler expels the corrupt swiftly, without hesitation, without remorse. When conflict arises, someone questions your priorities or challenges your focus. Respond with calm authority, not defensiveness. Weak. I'm not sure if this matters. Strong. I allocate my focus where it advances purpose. Weak. I might consider their input. Strong. I integrate counsel that strengthens strategy. All else is noise. Each day, rehearse the vigilance of a commander inspecting his defenses. Anticipate patterns, counter intrusions, and consolidate mental resources. Every disciplined thought is a soldier, fortified within your fortress. Reinforce boundaries, reinforce presence. Let the mind's throne remain untouchable, its command unbroken. Stand firm in observation, decisive in action, unyielding in control. Exercise this dominion daily, for mastery is the accumulation of repeated victories over distraction, doubt, and impulse. Claim your sovereignty with relentless focus, orchestrate your inner counsel with wisdom, and fortify the gates against chaos. I rule my mind, I am unshakable. Every sunrise is a battlefield, and the victor claims the day before it even begins. The morning is a strategic operation, a chance to seize initiative over the mind and environment alike. Begin with ritualized dawn, deliberate actions that prime body and mind for engagement. Hydrate, stretch, focus, and review priorities as if inspecting troops before battle. Each movement, each deliberate breath strengthens neural pathways for resilience and foresight. Preemptive strikes are essential. Anxiety, indecision, and distraction gather silently, preparing ambushes in the shadows of idle thought. Address them immediately, plan the first tasks, isolate critical actions, and reject trivial interruptions. Historical studies of high-performing individuals show that those who ritualize mornings maintain greater cognitive control, emotional stability, and strategic output throughout the day. Momentum march amplifies this advantage. The clarity and decisiveness cultivated in the first hours propagate through every subsequent action. Command attention to your priorities. Set the pace with intentionality that others unconsciously follow. Let the morning's energy dictate tempo, not circumstances or reactive impulses. Weak. I'll try to get started. Strong. I initiate, I control the first hours, all else follows. Weak. I hope to focus. Strong. I establish focus. I neutralize distraction. I advance purpose. Incorporate micro-intervals of reflection, a brief journal entry, mental rehearsal, or planning session to consolidate gains. Each completed action is a skirmish won, each unchallenged distraction a surrender avoided. As the day progresses, revisit the early victories to maintain command over momentum. External noise may attempt to derail focus. Treat interruptions as tactical challenges. Respond with calm authority and maintain objectives without emotional entanglement. Calendar blocks, prioritized lists, and time-bound commitments function as fortifications along the day's march. By commanding your morning, you preempt the chaos that often dictates outcomes. The clarity achieved in early hours reverberates in meetings, creative work, and decision-making. Implement this rigor consistently. Each dawn reinforces discipline. Each preemptive strike strengthens mental fortitude. Each momentum-driven task sets conditions for continued advantage. The battlefield of the day is won, not in reaction, but by proactive command. Stand, act, and march with purpose from the first light. Reinforce the rhythm daily until it is reflexed, until the mind recognizes that it owns the terrain before external forces can even arrive. Every moment of controlled focus accumulates into a force that others perceive but cannot counter. Let this principle govern each sunrise, forging invulnerability through consistency and clarity. Seize the day, dominate the battlefield. Stillness is power, and the mind that waits rules the battlefield before it strikes. Weaponizing stillness transforms patience into a tactical advantage, a predator's stance sharpened by observation and control. Silent observation is your first armor. Watch without reaction, study patterns, and identify weaknesses. Knowledge gathered without noise is sharper than hasty action and often prevents unnecessary conflict. Scan the environment. Note human behavior and track your own impulses with unflinching attention. Controlled breath reinforces this discipline. Each measured inhale and exhale anchors the mind, dampening panic and deflecting manipulation. Neuroscience shows that deliberate breathing can reduce stress responses, increasing focus and decision-making capacity. Maintain calm even when provoked. Mental armor is forged in restraint, not reaction. The waiting strike is the culmination of preparation and patience. Action without readiness squanders advantage, while strategic timing amplifies influence. Position yourself where the opportune moment is visible, yet do not force engagement prematurely. Consider a colleague attempting to push a rash decision. Respond with composure, acknowledging the concern while maintaining your planned trajectory. Weak, I'll decide soon. Strong, I assess fully. I act decisively. I control the outcome. Weak, maybe I'll intervene. Strong, I wait until conditions align. I strike with precision. I secure success. Weak, I'll react. Strong, I command timing. I dictate results. I dominate the field. Cultivate micro-rituals to reinforce stillness, short periods of reflection, controlled breathing exercises, and mental rehearsals sharpen your instinctive judgment. Each pause is deliberate, each observation a reconnaissance mission, each breath a shield against chaos. As momentum builds internally, external actions carry amplified effects. Decisions made from this position of calm resonate further, influence extends more broadly, and the consequences of choice are maximized. Avoid the temptation to rush. Impatience undermines leverage, disperses energy, and signals vulnerability. Observe, breathe, wait, and act only when the conditions favor decisive advantage. The patient mind wields authority without noise, asserting presence through calculated restraint. Repeat these practices daily, and stillness becomes your weapon, patience your strategy, and foresight your guarantee of control. Stand silent, vigilant, unshakable, letting your measured action define outcomes rather than reaction. Stillness conquers, timing commands. Decisive action is the currency of power, and hesitation is a luxury for the weak. Ruthless elimination begins internally. Every harmful thought pattern is a traitor within your own mind, siphoning energy and blurring judgment. Identify these patterns. Without sentiment, negative self-talk, indecision, and fear-driven reasoning have no place in a sovereign mind. Challenge them directly, question their validity, and replace them with clarity and resolve. External cleansing is the battlefield extended to your environment. People or situations that consistently drain focus, instill doubt, or provoke chaos are liabilities that compromise your command over daily operations. Address them with firm boundaries, reduce exposure, disengage politely but decisively, and eliminate recurring distractions before they metastasize. The price of mercy is often regret. Allowing toxic influences to linger erodes authority and breeds internal conflict. Consider a team member who undermines decisions subtly. Address behavior calmly yet firmly, delineating expectations and consequences. Weak. I hope they improve. Strong. Their influence ends here. I preserve focus. I advance without compromise. Weak. I'll wait for the right moment. Strong. The moment is now. I act decisively. I enforce sovereignty. Weak. Maybe I can tolerate it. Strong. Tolerance breeds vulnerability. I cut interference. I reclaim control. Regularly audit commitments, relationships, and mental habits. Each morning ask which tasks, interactions, and beliefs serve progress, and which impede it. Eliminate what does not serve. Reduce friction to zero. Energy preserved is power multiplied. Clarity grows when chaos is excised, allowing strategic decisions to be implemented without internal or external resistance. This requires discipline, courage, and a refusal to rationalize indecision. Sovereignty over mind and environment demands zero tolerance for compromise with weakness. By purging distractions and doubts, you create an operational theater where every move is calculated, every resource optimally allocated, and every outcome influenced by your command. Execute internal and external purges with precision, maintain vigilant oversight, and prevent the resurgence of old weaknesses. Each decisive removal reinforces authority, sharpens focus, and cultivates unshakable mental fortitude. Stand unyielding, resolute, and fully sovereign in your decisions, letting no interference persist. Cut decisively, rule absolute. Control over perception is the battlefield of authority. Your mind may churn with doubt, yet the world must witness unshakable composure. The mask of command is not deception, it is the armor that shields influence from internal turbulence. Imagine a general surveying the field, each gesture measured, each expression neutral, yet every subordinate recognizes the command flowing through presence alone. Armor of composure begins with mastery of emotion. When provoked, breathe deliberately, slow your pulse, and allow no flicker of frustration to betray your interior state. Calmness signals stability. Instability invites challenge. In conversation, remain still, measured, deliberate. Speak with clarity, eliminate filler, and let pauses carry weight. The voice of authority extends beyond volume or pitch. It is cadence, certainty, and consistency. When addressing dissent, anchor your words with unwavering logic, yet avoid unnecessary elaboration. Micro example. A colleague questions a strategic decision publicly. Respond with concise clarity, assert the rationale, then return focus to execution, leaving no space for prolonged debate. Weak. I think perhaps we should reconsider. Strong. The decision stands. We advance as planned. Weak. I hope this works. Strong. This is executed. Results will follow. Weak. Maybe you're right. Strong. Analysis is complete. Action is uncompromised. Invisible strategy is the extension of both armor and voice. Let actions, not explanations, dictate perception. Make each accomplishment visible, each misstep managed silently. Influence grows when others perceive control without the need for justification. Mastery of timing amplifies this effect. Act decisively at key moments, remain deliberately absent when observation suffices, and conceal deliberation until execution. The throne of authority is constructed not from overt dominance alone, but from the perception of unbroken command. Every interaction, every meeting, every glance contributes to the silent projection of power. Align posture, expression and word choice with strategic intent. Let inconsistency never betray internal conflict. Command is contagious. Those around you take cues from composure, cadence, and decisive action. Your mask is not falsehood, it is sovereignty enacted. Observe, act, and maintain the theater of control. Let silence enforce obedience. Let confidence shape decisions. Let perception secure influence. Rehearse restraint, polish delivery, and let internal storms remain unseen. Stand as the unmoved pillar in every room, every discussion, every decision. Let no hesitation leak. Let no doubt shadow presence. Command silently, rule absolutely. Ruthlessness begins within, not without. Your mind harbors both ally and adversary, and the difference lies in training the inner assassin. Treat procrastination as an enemy encamped in your thoughts. Treat self-deception as a traitor, hiding in plain sight. Self-interrogation is the blade that exposes hidden weaknesses. Ask yourself unflinching questions. Why do I hesitate when action is required? Which habits betray my ambitions? Are my intentions aligned with outcomes, or are they cloaked in rationalizations? Examine every motive as a battlefield, every hesitation as a vulnerability. Target weakness with the precision of a predator stalking prey. Identify habits that erode progress, moments where discipline falters, and patterns that invite failure. Once observed, neutralize them with relentless practice. Repetition is the forge in which resilience is tempered. Small, consistent strikes against shortcomings accumulate into unshakable strength. Strike first against potential failure. Anticipate the errors that might arise before they manifest. Correct decisively, adjust course immediately, and refuse to leave weaknesses unchallenged. In leadership, silence can amplify this principle. When a subordinate questions a plan publicly, respond with focused clarity, assert the rationale without defensiveness, then return attention to execution. Weak, I guess this might work. Strong, the course is set. We proceed with certainty. Weak, I hope I'm correct. Strong, analysis is complete. Action is confirmed. Weak, maybe you're right. Strong, strategy is decisive. We advance without hesitation. Your inner assassin thrives on vigilance. Monitor thought patterns, detect distractions, and intercept rationalizations before they settle into comfort. Mental sovereignty demands preemptive strikes. Waiting allows small vulnerabilities to metastasize into significant obstacles. Precision, calm, and deliberate action are the instruments of mastery. Each question you pose to yourself sharpens awareness. Each preemptive correction reinforces resilience. Treat every misstep as intelligence to be gathered, not a defeat to lament. Transform hesitation into reconnaissance, doubt into strategy, and distraction into opportunity for decisive intervention. Let your mind patrol its borders relentlessly, leaving no weakness undetected, no procrastination unchallenged. The inner assassin is not cruel. It is loyal, disciplined, and ruthless only in service to growth and survival. Accept its guidance without fear, execute without indulgence, and allow its presence to guide every decision. Stand vigilant, act decisively, and let no internal enemy gain foothold. Train, observe, correct, and strike before failure manifests externally. Hunt within, conquer without. Ambition, like a wolf, grows strong when nourished and weak when neglected. Feed it deliberately. Build routines that sustain mental resilience as a predator sharpens claws before the hunt. Daily discipline is the prey that strengthens the predator within. Without it, focus wanes and energy disperses. Set a regimen that prioritizes sleep, movement, learning, and reflection. Let each repetition condition the mind to endure and act decisively. Strategic hunger is the force that drives relentless pursuit. Desire alone is insufficient. It must be disciplined and channeled toward clear objectives. Obsession, carefully measured, transforms potential into achievement. Guard it, cultivate it, and apply it only where results compound meaningfully. Energy allocation is the unseen weapon. Do not expend your wolf on trivialities, arguments without consequence, or distractions that drain attention. Identify battles that truly matter, commit resources fully, and ignore what does not advance your position. Weak, reacting to every provocation. Strong, choosing which conflicts are worth engagement. Weak, dispersing attention across inconsequential tasks. Strong, concentrating on critical actions that determine outcomes. Weak, feeding whims. Strong, nourishing strategic ambition. Even in leadership, this principle holds. When a team member challenges priorities, acknowledge the perspective briefly, then redirect attention to objectives that yield tangible results. Daily discipline feeds resilience. Strategic hunger channels drive, and energy allocation ensures strength is preserved for decisive moments. The mind, like the wolf, thrives on purpose, on calculated indulgence of ambition, and on focus reserved for pivotal action. Neglect any of these elements, and the predator weakens. Starve them intentionally, and defeat becomes inevitable. Let each morning reaffirm your commitment to nourish the inner wolf, to feed ambition with clarity, to sustain focus with precision, and to reserve energy for the battles that shape destiny. Let habits harden into instinct. Let hunger sharpen judgment. Let focus crystallize around meaningful goals. In every choice, in every allocation of time and attention, act as the predator that knows where strength is required and where restraint preserves it. Guard your priorities fiercely, measure desire with purpose, and cultivate the relentless drive that transforms potential into achievement. Feed discipline, cultivate obsession, and allocate energy wisely. Train the mind to hunt with intelligence and efficiency. Let the wolf within grow unassailable, relentless and precise. Stand vigilant, act decisively, and let no strength be wasted on the inconsequential. Feed the wolf, hunger for mastery. Every move matters. Life is a chessboard where every decision, every interaction, every alliance is a piece advancing or retreating under your control. Opening strategy defines the pace of the game. Prepare for challenges before they appear. Anticipate the intentions of opponents, the capabilities of allies, and the obstacles that will test your resolve. Study the patterns of human behavior and the predictable reactions that arise under pressure. Set contingencies and position your resources to respond efficiently. Calculated sacrifice is the art of choosing which battles to forfeit so that greater objectives are secured. Not every conflict warrants engagement. Sometimes yielding a minor position strengthens your long-term stance. Weak, reacting to provocation. Strong, evaluating impact and preserving strength for decisive moments. Focus on preserving options and maintaining flexibility. Retreat strategically to gain advantage later. Energy expended impulsively erodes power. Control your moves like a master, controlling pawns, knights, and bishops. Endgame vision is your compass. Consider how every action today shapes the board weeks, months, or years ahead. Avoid the trap of momentary victory that leaves you exposed later. Short-term gains often blind you to looming threats. Plan sequences that coordinate effort across multiple arenas, professional, personal, social, ensuring cumulative progress toward dominance. Align choices with objectives that matter most and measure outcomes not by immediate results, but by enduring influence. Observe interactions carefully. Micro-expressions, tone and timing convey intentions far more reliably than words alone. In leadership, when disagreement arises, respond with calm authority. Acknowledge the perspective briefly, Then redirect focus to strategic priorities. Each piece you move, each choice you make, accumulates into power or vulnerability. Allocate attention to critical junctures, defer engagement on distractions, preserve mental energy for decisive confrontation. Weak, reacting to every message or criticism. Strong, filtering inputs to maintain clarity and readiness. Build routines that support sustained awareness, analytical rigor, and emotional composure. Rehearse scenarios mentally to anticipate responses and outcomes. Forethought reduces errors and maximizes opportunity. Mastery is not in dominating each skirmish, but in orchestrating the flow of events to your advantage. Track consequences, learn from missteps, and refine tactics continuously. Play with patience, foresee several moves ahead, and never allow impulse to dictate action. Maintain presence of mind, conserve focus, and leverage timing to strengthen position. Your allies are tools, your observations are intelligence, and your strategy is the framework that turns potential into achievement. Control the board, anticipate the opposition, and act decisively when opportunity aligns with objective. Every move is a step toward mastery. Discipline is forged, not granted. Your mind is a fortress, and every day offers a chance to reinforce its walls. Habit is your weapon. Small, consistent actions compound into unyielding strength. Wake early, plan deliberately, execute without hesitation, and repeat relentlessly. Each ritual sharpens focus, calibrates intent, and aligns decisions with strategic objectives. Resistance training conditions your will. Discomfort is the hammer that tempers steel. Embrace physical strain, mental challenge, and emotional friction. They are the forces that reveal weakness and forge resilience. When faced with unavoidable strain, maintain composure, breathe deliberately, and execute with precision. Weak, yielding to irritation. Strong, observing, adjusting, and persisting. Mental fortification is the final layer of armor. Reinforce self-command through visualization, reflection, and disciplined repetition until instinct governs your responses. Guard attention as a general guards territory. Distractions are enemy skirmishes that sap strength. Prioritize tasks that advance influence and mastery. Defer trivial engagements. Each completed ritual signals authority over mind and circumstance. Train decisiveness through incremental choices, evaluating impact and learning from missteps. Record progress, adjust routines, and sustain intensity. Consistency outperforms sudden effort. Micro-experience. A colleague disputes an approach during planning. Acknowledge input, restate priorities, and proceed with the chosen method. The mind recognizes authority through repetition and consistency. Assert control calmly, and others follow naturally. Energy allocation is strategic. Do not squander focus on minor irritations or inconsequential debates. Embrace challenge as opportunity. Each obstacle overcome is a fortified wall added to your mental citadel. Weak, reacting emotionally to criticism. Strong, processing calmly. Adjusting tactics. Maintaining overarching strategy. Commit to daily exercises that cultivate patience, concentration, and adaptive thinking. Physical vigor supports mental acuity. Integrates movement to reinforce stamina and resolve. Self-command becomes a reflex when repeated under varied conditions. The disciplined mind anticipates threats, evaluates options rapidly, and executes precisely without hesitation. Measure progress through consistency, reflection, and resilience under pressure. Incremental victories compound into dominance, each step reinforcing the next. Guard against complacency. The fortress grows only with persistent effort and intentional challenge. Harness discomfort, enforce routines, and embed structure into every decision. Strengthen focus with defined rituals, sharpen judgment through regular assessment, and temper patience with calculated action. Every repeated effort adds a layer of imperviousness. Neglect erodes advantage. Stand firm against distraction, maintain deliberate pace, and elevate self-command above external chaos. Steel your will, command your mind. Power is claimed internally before it manifests externally. You are the throne that commands respect, the storm that cannot be contained, the sword that cuts decisively without hesitation. Absolute sovereignty begins within. Anchor confidence in disciplined thought and measured action. Declare your intentions silently through behavior, posture, and consistency. Weak, seeking approval. Strong, maintaining purpose without validation. Construct an invisible fortress around your mind. Guard attention, limit unnecessary exposure, and defend mental territory against intrusion. Information intake shapes judgment. Filter rigorously, question sources, and prioritize clarity. Enforce boundaries as a general enforces territory, clearly, calmly, without justification. Resistance to distraction becomes second nature. Disruption is neutralized before it penetrates. Predator's edge arises from this command of self. Move deliberately, observe thoroughly, and act with inevitability. Influence emerges as a natural byproduct of composure and strategic presence. Micro example: during a tense negotiation, others attempt to unsettle you with provocation. Maintain tone, acknowledge points briefly, redirect focus to objectives, and proceed. Each interaction is an opportunity to project unshakable authority. Strengthen routines that reinforce calm, patience, and foresight. Weak, reacting impulsively to irritation. Strong, responding with measured, intentional action that aligns with overarching goals. Internalize lessons from prior practice, habitual self-command, resistance training, and fortified thought converge into unassailable mental discipline. Visualize challenges as strategic moves, anticipate obstacles, and adapt without emotional fluctuation. Energy is finite. Expend it only on actions that advance influence, mastery, and resilience. Confidence is not loud. It is steady, predictable, and impenetrable. Observe patterns, learn from outcomes, and refine methods without hesitation. The predator does not rush. It waits, calculates, and strikes with perfect timing. External chaos tests consistency. Meet it with composure, detach from distraction, and preserve focus. Sovereignty is a mindset enacted daily through deliberate choice and repetition. Each decision, each response, each maintained boundary reinforces untouchable presence. Weak, allowing circumstance to dictate emotion. Strong, dictating response through prepared, disciplined practice. Protect your mental fortress with daily ritual, deliberate reflection, and controlled execution. Let others perceive calm inevitability. Let actions, not words, communicate authority. Your mind becomes an environment where uncertainty fails to penetrate and influence flows naturally from presence. Command attention, conserve energy, and cultivate foresight relentlessly. I am the storm, the throne, the sword. Every victory begins within. You are the general of your own mind, commanding each thought, each impulse, with unwavering discipline. Synthesis of strategy is your battlefield. Every habit, ritual, and learned tactic merges into a unified system of mental dominance. Repetition becomes armor, consistency a weapon. Treat daily practices as strategic maneuvers, executed with precision, patience, and foresight. Weak, sporadic effort. Strong, relentless rehearsal that converts action into instinct. Embodied authority radiates from your presence like a seasoned commander on the field. Posture, tone, and deliberate action communicate control without speech. Approach decisions as calculated strikes. Assess, Anticipate and act with inevitability. Energy is finite. Invest it solely where outcomes matter. Observers sense calm, inevitability. Influence flows automatically from disciplined projection. Micro example. A colleague challenges your proposed direction. Respond calmly, acknowledge the concern, redirect focus to the plan, and proceed without hesitation. Permanent vigilance ensures mastery is enduring, not fleeting. Triumph does not dull awareness. The mind remains alert, scanning for threats, analyzing scenarios, and adjusting strategy continuously. Weak complacency after success. Strong, persistent readiness that converts every moment into opportunity. Visualize challenges as complex tactical engagements. Anticipate variables, adapt quickly, and maintain control over your internal state. Guard attention like fortified terrain. Filter inputs, minimize distraction, and reinforce mental boundaries. Confidence is not noise. It is steady, deliberate, and impervious to external turbulence. Integrate prior lessons, disciplined thought, habitual self-command, resistance to discomfort, and calm presence converge into unassailable strength. The predator moves silently, strikes with certainty, and leaves nothing to chance. Each choice, reaction, and routine strengthens your fortress, ensuring clarity and command. Weak, reacting to provocation. Strong, maintaining composure while executing long-term strategy. Presence becomes a signal, not a display. Authority, a natural outcome of prepared action. Continuous reflection converts experience into foresight. Analyze outcomes, refine tactics, and repeat with exacting precision. Treat life as a chessboard where each move is deliberate, each position fortified, and each objective approached with calculated patience. Internal mastery shapes external reality. Influence, respect, and control arise organically from unshakable composure. Train focus relentlessly, enforce boundaries without apology, and cultivate resilience against disruption. Energy spent impulsively is energy wasted. Act only with purpose. Let the mind be an environment where uncertainty is neutralized and calculated influence is inevitable. Each habit reinforces the next, forming a lattice of discipline, perception, and authority. Observe patterns, anticipate behavior, and respond with measured inevitability. The unshakable mind is not arrogant. It is steady, aware, and decisive. Power manifests through repetition, focus, and strategic alignment of thought and action. Command every aspect of your internal realm, projecting quiet authority that governs outcomes without exertion. Weak, yielding to chaos. Strong, being the constant, the observer, and the arbiter. Integrate the totality of your preparation into daily execution. Mastery is habitual, not theoretical. Every encounter, every decision, and every moment of stillness is a chance to enforce sovereignty. Internalize the culmination of strategy, presence, and vigilance. Let each principle reinforce the other until they form an unbreakable structure. The final form of mastery is achieved when thought, action, and presence converge into seamless authority. Command decisively, move deliberately, and remain ever watchful. I am the fortress, the blade, the throne. Mastery is earned in repetition, not occasional triumph. You are the throne, commanding the battlefield of your mind with an unyielding presence. Daily enforcement forges unshakable mental sovereignty. Rehearse each principle until action becomes instinct. Treat every challenge as a tactical maneuver. Anticipate, observe, and respond deliberately. Weak, reacting emotionally. Strong, responding strategically. Maintaining calm and control. Discipline your thoughts as you would position troops. Every habit, every reflection, every choice is a deliberate placement, securing your mental terrain. Embodied authority radiates through posture, tone, and measured action. Your presence signals command before a word is spoken. Even in moments of opposition, maintain composure. A dissenting voice is acknowledged briefly, then redirected towards strategic purpose, demonstrating calm dominance. Influence becomes automatic when consistency is absolute, and observers perceive steadiness as power. Permanent vigilance ensures that triumph does not erode focus. Mastery is eternal, not fleeting. Protect mental territory from intrusion, limit distractions, enforce boundaries, and preserve clarity of thought. Weak, yielding to disruption. Strong, standing firm, directing energy to deliberate execution. Integrate every learned tactic into cohesive strategy. Fragmented efforts yield vulnerability, but unified practice secures dominance. Each rehearsal reinforces the next, creating a lattice of confidence, foresight, and decisive action. Commanding mantra becomes the spine of execution, anchoring focus and guiding behavior under pressure. Weak, scattered attention. Strong, disciplined alignment of mind, action, and observation. Legacy of mastery is cultivated through daily commitment. Respect, influence, and freedom grow naturally from sustained mental sovereignty. Visualize each day as a campaign, each task as a mission requiring precision, patience, and tactical awareness. Let persistence become your ally. Repetition converts effort into instinct, and instinct into authority. Your mind, fortified by disciplined enforcement, becomes impervious to external chaos. Act decisively, observe keenly, and maintain unwavering readiness. Influence flows from consistency, presence, and silent command. Weak, passivity. Strong, deliberate, informed action. Enforce rituals, maintain awareness, and embody calm inevitability in every decision. Success is not a single achievement but the accumulation of disciplined, repeated mastery. Internalize these methods, apply them daily, and let them shape your interactions and perceptions. I am the throne, the blade, the storm. I endure, I command, I am unshakable.